Hello, hello, my no more people pleasing family. It is good to be with you again today. Oh man, I hope you all have been having a wonderful summer. Um, and we are trying to get back. I missed a week last week, trying to get back on. I'm going to let you know this summer is going to be funny, but we're going to try to keep it moving and so that we can put out these lives. I hope you all have been enjoying them. Today, I have a special topic that I would like to talk to you about and the topic is relative to, you know, anyone who has ever felt unworthy or not enough, ever felt not good enough. Here's why this has to change. All right, we want to talk about that this evening. Here's why this has to change. And I'm going to show you a quick video. And the video is going to kind of give you an idea. I want you to think for a moment to see if you have ever experienced any of the feelings that are being spelled out in this like 1 2 minute video. Have you ever experienced that? And I want you to evaluate and think to yourself, why have I felt this way? And what has been the consequences, the cost um, of me feeling like this? How long have I been feeling this way? And what have I been doing about it? Like a lot of times we're stuck into certain feelings and emotions, and we know that something is not right, but we have not taken the time to try to change it. So there's going to be a number of you that will never change, unfortunately. But there's some of you out there that know that it is time for me to try to make that change so that I can have the relationships that I want. So I don't have to feel these feelings about not feeling good enough. Many of us don't know what it's rooted from. Some of us do know what it's rooted from, just don't know how to get rid of it. But I want to take a moment to see if I can show this video. And this one in particular is talking about daddyless daughters. And a daddyless daughter doesn't just mean a daughter who has not had her father involved in her life at all. It could also be a daughter who did not have the father emotionally present. Okay. To where the daughter could express her needs and concerns and feel protected. But even if you've had that, many of these feelings, if you are in the category of people pleasing or codependency, you have experienced numerous of these emotions. And so we're going to talk about them, and we're going to talk about what we need to do about it, and maybe how to deal with it. All right, so I'm going to show this video really quickly. Hopefully we get this tech stuff right. And let's play. All right.
Let's talk about what you call unpacking the uns.
Unpacking the uns. Daddyless daughters have a treasure chest of uns, unworthy, unloved, unimportant, unneeded, unnecessary, unattractive. And we have all of these uns. And then because we tell ourselves these stories, then we go out and really try to prove that that's true about us. So we've got to start unpacking the uns. Unwanted by who? Do you want you? Because one of the main things that a daddyless daughter has to do is really define and redefine herself.
Can I just say this? Something I heard you say recently to my girls, actually. Iyanla did a whole Fix My Life session with my girls from South Africa. And one of the things that my girls were saying is, a lot of them had violent childhoods or fathers missing in their childhood. And somebody was saying that they felt that they had, lost their childhood. They'd lost their childhood. And the thing that you said to them, I thought that really was a big aha. Yeah. And you said,
I said, what would you do with the childhood if you had it now? What would you do with it? So mourning something that's not going to help you now is really not a productive thing to do.
Yeah. And so a lot of people are still stuck in that, what could have been, what my father should have done, what I could have been if my dad was there. Well, you don't need that anymore. Now you are an adult with your own 3 daughters. You all are wherever you are in your lives. So to continue to carry the story forward of what woulda, coulda, shoulda been is only wasting your own energy.
Not a productive thing to do.
All right. So how many of you have dealt with some of the uns? Okay. I want you to just be honest. Okay. And I'm gonna try to share the screen again really quickly. Let's put the uns back on the screen here. How many of you have dealt with the or are dealing with the uns? Here we go. Unwanted, unloved, unlovable, unaccepted, unimportant, unattractive, unworthy. Man, that's tough. How many of the and put it in the chat. Put it in the chat and be honest, because your transparency will help somebody. If you can identify with one of these that you've experienced, just put one in the chat. If you can identify with two, then put two, whatever number that you can identify with that you've experienced. Put it in the chat, because someone who's not putting it in the chat needs to see that transparency so that they can have a win, so they can understand that they're not the only one out there feeling this way. So these uns, we want to talk about them. Where did they come from? How did they develop? We probably won't be able to get into all of that, but we want to talk a little bit about these uns. So, um, based on, and I want to say this: the leverage that someone will continue to take advantage of you is based on how bad your need is for one of these. So let me repeat that. The leverage that someone will have or someone will get that wants to take advantage of you will be based on how bad your need is to be wanted, to be loved, to be accepted, to feel important, to feel like I'm important, like somebody feels that I'm somebody. To feel attractive. I don't feel beautiful. I don't feel attractive. To feel, and like, what have I done? What have I done to compensate for that void of that feeling? Because I haven't had that feeling. What what kind of positions have I put myself in just to feel that way? To feel loved, to feel lovable, to feel accepted, to feel important, to feel attractive, to feel worthy, right? If we have people pleasing tendencies, if we have codependent tendencies, there's going to be a number of these that you're going to be experiencing. And the tough part is that based on how significant the concern is with you, with having these feelings, someone will take advantage, right? Because there's something that kind of a lot of times goes on in the mind, and you may have experienced it. I know I had back in the day when I had some issues with these kinds of concerns, right? Um, is that you just believe that you can do something to get what you desired. So the more work that you put in, the more nice that you, the more kind, or the more that you go out of your way to support somebody who is abusing you, by the way, emotionally, physically, whatever your experience is, someone who is using you. Basically, the mind is telling me the more that I get used, the stronger the probability will be that I will be wanted. See, we don't think about it that way. That I will be loved, that I will feel lovable, that I will feel accept. The more that I get used, because the using doesn't diminish based on the hard work that's put in to try to get these uns fulfilled, you know? In other words, the harder that I work to be accepted, it does not change the attitude and the demands of the people who are in my life that I'm trying to prove things to. As a matter of fact, it gets worse. And I want to say that when I'm working with clients, when we're working with clients, some of the things that I see that populate quite a bit, that really are hurtful to some of my clients, the things that has caused them to make the worst of decisions is when, because of the I also have a desire that, hey, I really want to be married. I desperately want to be married, or I desperately want to be a mother, or I desperately just don't want to be alone. Some of y'all experienced any of these. So it's not a bad thing. Most that are in this group, we've experienced this at some point. It's just a part of the deal until we get the tools to be able to feel differently. It's funny because I was talking to a client not too long ago, and I may have mentioned this in other life, but she had said that when she came to me, that she never believed that some of the things that I was saying that you can experience, have an experience of not feeling these uns, you know, in your life. And she rejected that in her mind, but she did the work. And she was just like, I just can't believe where I am right now, that I no longer feel this way. So it can change. And it doesn't matter how long it's been there. Once you get the tools, you can undo it. So those individuals who heavy, strong, desperate. This is a different one. Is desperate desire to be married, to be a mother, to not be alone, to feel desired, to have security, to have security. Like, as a matter of fact, depending again how desperate the need is, many times, some of you all can vouch for this, can convince yourself that you're in love with the person that you have no business being with, just because they made you feel for a moment that you were important. Ooh, the consequence of that, because they made you feel important, you were then convinced, because that was love to you, because no one had ever showed you an affection in that capacity, to where you felt that you were wanted, to where you felt that you were loved, to where you felt that you were lovable. Like that, I just haven't felt loved by anyone, really. I haven't felt that anybody really cared enough to really even take the time to see about what my needs are. Unaccepted. They made you feel accepted for a moment. And the narcissists run all over this, and they can smell it when they come into the room. As soon as they see someone that they're attracted to, as a matter of fact, they're attracted to people who have the uns, and they exploit people who have the uns, and generally they never change. Okay, unfortunately, I wish I could say something different. So it's important that we understand that the un sets us up for these decisions that many times we can't even undo. Or if we do undo it, the damage that we have taken on from making certain decisions because of these uns is irreversible a lot of times. But what you can do is reverse the feelings that you feel now. And some of you all feel like that's impossible, but I'm telling you, I know. I know. I mean, I can just speak for myself. The people that I work with, that changes. I mean, I'm not saying it ends up being a perfect situation, but it ends up being a situation you happy that you spent every dollar that you spent for this, because it was an investment in me. And now I have been renewed and changed as far as my thinking, my motivations, and it all changes. It's just, that's just how it happens. That's my gift, and that's the gift of the team as well. Okay, so these things can be changed even if you don't get them changed. So go find somebody to help you get it changed, because this is not a permanent situation. It's permanent because you're not doing anything to change it, and some of y'all not going to do anything to change it. But some of you all are like, this is it. I was talking to a friend just this week, or a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about addiction, which is a little bit different, but has some similarities here, right? And we're talking about, and he was saying, he's real hardcore about stuff, but what he was saying is that a lot of times nothing is going to change until the person determines that I don't like this anymore. Okay. And it's not just about not liking it. It's like, I don't like it enough to where I'm willing to submit myself to support with someone who knows what they're doing, to help to guide me in a way outside of what I'm used to, because I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get me out of this. And some of y'all aren't to that point yet. Some of you, you're not to that point yet, but eventually it's going to get to the point to where you're like, okay, this is it. Something has got to change, and it's got to be now. And a lot of us, I hate to say it, we don't get help because there's a pride in what we're doing. And maybe we feel like if we get help, it's saying that basically I've been able to figure so many things out except for this, that it may feel like somewhat of a failure, it may make you feel even worse because we already have these uns and now but we can't look at things that way. But let me finish what I'm talking about here, right? So the quickest way to over and this is kind of what I'm saying, the quickest way to overcome this is by acknowledging it. That was something that was really tough for me when I was going through my experience. I had to acknowledge and be okay with not being okay. I had to be okay with I was not the type of person that wanted to get help. I didn't want to feel as the needing help for me was a sign of being weak, especially as a man. That was a sign of weakness. You see what I'm saying? But it got to the point to where I understood that something had to change. And then what ended up essentially changing that drove things forward for me is that I start caring a whole lot less. I won't say I stopped caring because we always want to maintain some degree of awareness of what people are thinking in the environment. But I started noticing that the people that I cared most about, what they thought about me, weren't doing a dang thing for me. A lot of them were just using, uh, you know, just arrogant, and trying to make me feel as though I was less than, and you look back at these things, and this is what I'm telling you, man. This thing this change your life, because see, I was raised by a codependent, so it was just in there. Do you feel what I'm saying? And I, as a man, adapted this crap, right? Not anymore. You know what I'm saying? And so what happens? Anybody, man or woman, our specialty here, of course, is with women, and we work on helping to undo these uns. We pick them off one by one. But the thing is that you have to decide that it's time to seek some help. And we're here to help you if you desire, if you want to get into our coaching program, just put in the chat coach, and we will reach out to you. But even if you don't get it here, because this is for 501, so I mean, my business is in psychotherapy. Um, get some help somewhere. Get some help from somebody. Go talk to your church member. I mean, your pastor or somebody. Um, Start taking out some time for you. Okay, sit down and look at these uns and question, why is it that I feel this way about me? Where did that root from? Why am I allowing for people to come into my life and make me feel more of the uns, more unwanted, more unloved? Why am I staging situations unconsciously, not intentionally, that bring this on me? It brings it on me. How is it that I'm staging these situations on my own by the people that I'm allowing in my circle? And these are the things that we support you with, okay? When you come to coaching. So we're gonna put that out there. Definitely give us text us, coach. And like I said, we have a number of coaches. I'm gonna get some of that information out eventually with some of our coaches. And that's likely who you will see, not likely me. And so just put in the chat, coach, and we'll reach out to you. Y'all have a blessed rest of the week. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.